What's up, everybody? It's HBT, man, and I am here late, man, coming on late. It's HBT for the Straight Up Wrestling Show. Guys, I came just a little late. I'm trying to get everything organized here so pretty much I can be on my tablet and see things, what's going on. But, hey, I'm having a little trouble there. Maybe I should have got my laptop, but I'm here right now, guys. So if you come in, if it looks like I'm lagging anything like that, man, guys, let me know. Work with me here a little bit, man, but I'm pretty much going to get into talking about the top 10, guys, talking about the top 10. I put up a video a little bit earlier today and talked about the guys who I think are the top 10 wrestlers in the last 90 days. And this is pretty much basically work rate related guys who have put in the work, guys who have, made wrestling pretty much it has been the fuel behind the engine. So pretty much, I rated 10 guys, and this was just, just the males. I didn't rate any females, but definitely I do think these 10 guys that I ranked or the top 10 guys that's in the business right now. What's up, JL? I just finished up classwork. Who knew y'all be live, Harrington? What's up, man? With JL, I am live. Chris, I think has went home, went to bed. Me and him went out and ate earlier. I went out with him and his wife a little bit earlier today. We went out and had a meal. So I'm right here live, and I'm, doing this thing on my own. I'm start trying to pump out at least once, 2 times a day, at least get a couple videos out a day. If not with Chris, be myself, but definitely gonna pretty much up the viewership thing here live, man. And, I wanted to come on earlier for Impact, but we was out at the restaurant at the time Impact started. And then I ended up coming on the way home, which takes like almost an hour to get home. I had to stop and get my wife and son something to eat as I came home. But guys, I am on tonight, and we're going to talk about this top 10, man. So just give me a second. We're going to get into this thing, guys. We're going to get into it. And, hey, rest in peace to Dick Butkus, man, probably the best linebacker, one of the greatest linebackers ever to play the game of football, definitely top 5. In the NFL, but rest in peace to the Chicago legend, number 51, Dick Butkus, man. Definitely a menace on that football field. A great wrestler. I mean, and man, he did some spectacular things in the NFL. So rest in peace to him. But guys, I'm gonna get into this thing. But I should have got my laptop. I'm gonna have to probably go get it in just a moment. If I can't get what I want to get here, I'm gonna have to do it. This tablet, man, I've got to upgrade this tablet. This tablet is just not it. Definitely going to have to upgrade the tablet. But, all right, man. But, yeah, we'll be talking about a few other things. Besides that, we'll talk about the AEW, WWE, the AEW, WWE spectacular that's supposed to happen on the 10th, October the 10th. And, all right, JL says crapple. Man, yeah. I don't think so, JL. It's just that doggone, yeah, it's just that thing right there is messed up. But hey, yeah, sometimes Apple products is crap, though. I will say that. But man, yeah, let's go ahead and get into the top 10. And if you didn't see the video that I put up earlier, definitely what's up, Pedro Perez? What's up, man? How's it going? Pedro said, how's it going, brother? Not much, man. I'm glad that you in, Pedro coming in and check out the Straight Up Wrestling Show. But guys, if you didn't see the video that I had up earlier, I ended up deleting it by mistake. I was trying to edit the video, end up deleting it. I don't want to put it back up because YouTube will flag that thing and then flag it like a reused video. And I don't know why they do that, but the algorithm will do that. And, me and Chris, they took down our monetization for that. So we down monetization for a little while because I went back and wanted to post some of our old videos or some clips from our old videos. And I got caught for reused content, even though it's our own content. So, that right there happened. So that right there is teaching me a lesson. So I'm not even going to put back the old video. Like say, usually YouTube is going to go a little lenient on that because I just put the video up today. But I have it in the short. The whole video is in the short. So go check out that short. Go check out Straight Up Wrestling Show's shorts, and you'll see the top 10 wrestlers that I pretty much put down. So basically, that's what I want to talk about first. Man, I just bought a wrestling magazine, Pro Wrestling Illustrated magazine, which I'm trying to get back into these magazines. I'm thinking about pretty much subscribing to this wrestling magazine. You know, I used to go into any store and you could buy the magazines. I think Pro Wrestling Illustrated is one of the only ones left now. And hey, man, same thing. And you can look at Vince McMahon too. He ruined that too, along with so many other, you know, putting other organizations out. You know, he came out with his own WWE magazine, WWF magazine back in the day. It slowed down the magazines. It hurt Bill Apter's business straight up. You know, the Apter mags, which they used to call them. And let's see. And then I think WCW, they put out their own magazine too. It hurt the wrestling magazines. I did not like that because their mags, all it had was about their organization in it. You know, the wrestling magazines covered so many different things, so many different areas. You definitely wanted to have that. And like I said, it was back then, the wrestling magazines was our internet, you know, just like the internet is today. You know, we could read about all these different organizations. And I thought that was more fun than to, you know, pretty much on the internet, you want to swipe. We so inclined to swipe things. It's just like Straight Up Wrestling Show or any other podcast that comes on. Man, you know, people might watch you for, you know, maybe, you know, 30 seconds to a minute or whatever, and see if they're interested in you. And then, you know, they're going to swipe. Even if they are interested in you, you know, they basically most likely going to swipe. So that's one thing about the wrestling magazines, to pretty much get a hold of everything that was going on in the world of wrestling. You had to read the thing from cover to cover. And so that's what was so cool about that. All right. Pedro Perez says, all right, let's see. All right, JL says sometimes Pedro Perez says great. He's doing great. Okay, Pedro. Glad to hear that, brother. All right, JL, rookie mistake, Harrison, but it is what it is. Hey, no doubt about that. Pedro Perez, did CM Punk sign in with WWE? Not as I know of, Pedro. Now, you know, there's been some rumors out there, been some sightings and things like that. So, man, I wouldn't be shocked. Now, it will blow my mind. It'll blow everybody's mind if CM Punk, this is one thing we didn't think about, if CM Punk shows up Tuesday night, man, that will be a huge smack in the face to AEW. If he actually showed up on NXT Tuesday night, if they signed him. But if they signed him, man, I'm going to be real upset. And there's going to be a lot of fans out here upset. And I know JL, who's in the chat, JL will be very upset about that. But I don't think they signed him, man. But who knows? Who knows? All right. JL Brooks can go be a brat in WWE. He's pathetic. He spoke for over 5 years how he would never return to wrestling. Yep, especially not WWE. But hey, he's gone desperate in his 40s. Man, look, I think he's hurting for money, JL. I think he's hurting for money. All right, Pedro says copy that. But yeah, I definitely think he's hurting for money. When you away from your business for 7 years, you're really not generating anything. And your lifestyle, I'm pretty sure his lifestyle was pretty heavy on extravagance. Let's say extravagance. If not extravagance, pretty much probably a little bit upper middle class or above upper middle class. And you gotta generate something to sustain that. You know, after a while, you just actually do. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I retired with a good bit of money, and I had to go back and do something, man, because I tell you, hey, I went through my retirement like crazy. My first retirement, I was in my 40s. I had to do it, and pretty much got a good bit in retirement and went through it pretty quick. So things pop up, things happen. So I definitely think he's hurting for money. Now, did he get a good sized penny from AEW? AEW, yes, he did, but that contract wasn't fulfilled. So I do not believe that he's gotten everything that came in that package, all the money that came in that package. Now, did he make enough money over in AEW to sustain him for a while? I do believe that, to sustain him and Mickey, his wife or whatever, to sustain those two for a while. I do believe he did make enough money to pretty much keep them above water. But when it boils down to it, I think 7 years of him being off, I think he got humbled and he see how quickly money goes, and he needs money. So this man will sign with WWE if he can. If WWE will sign him, he will. If Impact will sign him, he will. Now, Impact will be very low, and but I think he really needs a job. So I wouldn't be surprised if he signs with WWE and WWE signs him just to spite Tony Khan and smack them in the face. I wouldn't be surprised, JL, straight up. I would not, man. But yeah, let's get into this top 10. And these are top 10 wrestlers. And I'm going to go ahead and run these top 10 wrestlers because, look, these are the guys, like I said, these are the guys who I believe, man, that was, this is the oil that was lubricating the machine. These are the guys, man, that kept wrestling going, that kept you interested in wrestling. These are the guys that stayed active, and these guys are the top 10. This is my top 10. Now, is there a lot of other wrestlers? And I will be getting to that, honorable mentions, people who I think should have got a top 10 spot, but they didn't. But so we will go over that. And if you hear something and you think somebody else deserved to be in there that I didn't put in there, definitely let me know. And hey, this is live, man. I don't have no ticker or whatever to put it down. Like I did that video earlier. I had, who was number one, number two, as it went on. You saw, the number one person, the number two person, the number three, and they had the number with them and everything like that. I wish I could put back up the video, but I'm definitely not going to chance it. So, so I will go and just pretty much talk about this. All right, Jake L says, Brooks said he thought of himself as a Brock Lesnar or Dwayne Johnson or Cena, claiming he could act, fight, and wrestle and be a company man. Yeah, man. I don't know, JL. And look, him quitting, him, having an outburst over there at AEW. The guys out there acting, he's acting on the show Heels, that TV show Heels, and it just got canceled too. And they probably canceled it because they was thinking CM Punk going to bring in a lot of fans or whatever, some AEW fans or whoever to come over and see the TV show Heels, but it actually didn't. But he was getting. I'm pretty sure he was getting a nice paycheck from there, from Heels. But that paycheck is gone. Now they are currently looking for somebody else to pick Heels up. I doubt anybody will pick that up, man. They just wasn't. They was on Stars Stars. They was getting like 42,000 viewers the last show that they had, something like that. 42,000, 38,000. I'm not sure. It was very low. So I don't think anybody will pick that thing up. I will be surprised if they do, and Heels, man, speaking of Heels, I was trying to go back and watch it today. I was trying to go back and watch it on my Stars, with my Stars subscription. Next thing you know, it's not on there. All I saw was, because the only thing I've seen was the first episode of Heels. I watched that on the day they canceled it. Watched it. That's it. Because, I want to come on. I want to start reporting on it and everything like that. I wanted to report and talk about the series. So I wanted to go from episode 1 on forward, and get the rest of them. And today I was going to watch another episode to talk about the first 2 episodes. But you know what? I go and I check it out. It's not on Stars no more, to my surprise. So I see it's on Amazon Prime. You got to pay for it. It's on a couple other streaming services, which you have to pay for. Hey, am I willing to pay for that? No, I am not. All right. No, I'm not. I'm not willing to pay for that $1.99 episode or whatever. So maybe whenever it comes out on DVD or whatever, I will go and pay for it then, or my DirecTV subscription. I think they said they're supposed to be having it on there. When DirecTV actually put it on, then I go back and I'll check those out. But guys, let's go ahead and get into this top 10, guys. The top 10 wrestlers, in my opinion, right now, guys, in the business, and this is the last 90 days. I'm gonna go from number 1 all the way to number 10. Number 1 in wrestling today, the last 90 days, in my opinion, have been Seth freaking Rollins. And the reason I say Seth freaking Rollins is the number 1 wrestler in the world today. Seth freaking Rollins have been defending that belt ever since he got it. Ever since he got it strapped around his waist, Seth freaking Rollins have been out there representing. Seth freaking Rollins is doing the things that a world champion should do. I mean, he is reminding me of old school champions. This guy have been defending his title against all comers. Right now, he is tied up in a feud or upcoming feud. I mean, they haven't got full blast yet. This thing is only probably 10, 15% into what it could be. So he's into an outstanding feud with Shinsuke Nakamura. And big ups to Seth Rollins for making Nakamura, man, pretty much relevant again when it boils down to it. So big ups to Seth Rollins. So I have Seth Rollins at number one, guys, the number one wrestler in the world today is Seth freaking Rollins. Man, number two is another guy, man, from WWE. In my opinion, Gunther is the number two professional wrestler in the world today, guys. And hey, the longest running IC champion of all times, and he has made that IC championship belt seem very, very important. And so, hey, man, I am proud of that fact, and I'm proud to say that Gunther, in my eyes, Gunther is the number two champion, world champion, not world champion. He's the intercontinental champion, but he's the number two wrestler in the world today, man. No ins, ands, or buts about it. This guy makes you want to watch wrestling, and he makes the title meaningful. You know, that title means something right now. In the past, it just was IC title, didn't mean anything. It didn't mean anything, or any other singles belt outside of the world's belt in WWE meant anything. But we have Seth Rollins, man. We got Seth Rollins coming in, and Seth Rollins, not Seth Rollins, Gunther, even Seth Rollins, but Gunther come in, and Gunther has changed that. You know, he has changed the narrative on that. So, guys, I definitely got to give Gunther his props. Man, he is doing something great. And Imperium, the same thing about Imperium, even though Imperium has been used to lose matches and everything, they just been out there to prop up Gunther. But Imperium, that is a tag team that loves the integrity of the sport. They want things to be right, things to look right. So they are into the sport and making the sport relevant as far as the characters go, as far as the wrestlers, real wrestling, and all that stuff is rubbed off on Gunther, even though Gunther is the leader of that group, man. But it is great. So Gunther, I have Gunther as the number two man in wrestling today. In my top 10 of the last 90 days, I have Gunther number two. All right, guys. Like I said, look, I'm trying to get my tablet going. So let me get to number three in just a minute. I'm trying to get this tablet back going right, guys, because I do want to definitely see what's going on while I'm doing this. Goodness sake, this is crazy. This is crazy. All right, but number three, guys, I'm going to go ahead and say who number three is before I really get into it and just start rambling off talking about who's number three. But number three, I have the number three man in the business right now is Ricky Starks, guys. Ricky Starks is my number three. He's the number three wrestler in the world today, according to the Straight Up Wrestling Show. I'm gonna go ahead and make that official, man. Even though Chris is not here, I will go ahead and say number three is Ricky Starks, man. Ricky Starks, absolute Ricky Starks. And we talk about absolute. Yes, he's absolute. I will agree with that 100%. This man can wrestle. He can talk. He can do so many different things. Doesn't really have many weaknesses when it boils down to it in wrestling. It's not a lot of weaknesses you can find with absolute Ricky Starks. And, man, yes, I see him as the number three wrestler in the world today. He's a heel. And, he transitioned from face to a heel and been just as effective and probably even more effective when it boils down to it. Can Tony Khan actually get him over the top and put him where he needs to be? I don't know, man. Where I'm sitting and from what I've seen so far, I don't think he can. But, man, we definitely hope that Ricky Starks is going to end up getting his just due. Straight up. Wow, man. Wow. All right, guys. Just a moment, and we'll get to the number four wrestler. Because, man, I'm just like having all kind of trouble here with this Facebook on my tablet. So, but let's get to the number four wrestler in just a moment here. But yeah, I already did the top three. Let's go ahead and recap that top three. The number one wrestler in the last 90 days, according to myself, HBT. And I'm going to go ahead and make it official for the Straight Up Wrestling Show since Chris is not on here. Number one, in my opinion, in the last 90 days, the last 3 months have been Seth Rollins, man. This guy is putting it together. This guy has been incredible for the business. All right, number two, I'm gonna go ahead and go with Gunther. Gunther is he's bringing the pain, man. This guy is real 100%. Great wrestler and great representative, and I'm happy to say that Gunther is the the number two guy in the business today. Number three, man, I'm go ahead and roll with Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks, absolute Ricky Starks is incredible, guys. And hey, it's hard to find a weakness on Ricky Starks. Maybe the weakness is Tony Khan. His weakness is Tony Khan doing his booking, and I hate to say that, and that is straight truth. All right, JL, no. And I'll tell you why. I would explain why you will not see Braun Breaker and there's a couple other people. LA Knight, these guys are not in my top 10. I will explain why they're not in the top 10. It's not saying they're not the movers and shakers that movers and shakers in the business today. Now, if you want to look at a year-end top 10, Braun Breaker is in my year-end top 10 so far up to the date we at. We're in October. He is in my top 10. Braun Breaker. Look like Braun Breaker is making a comeback. So right at the end of the year, I will have another one, and hopefully, man, he's in that top 10. Hopefully he's in that top 5 somewhere, because Braun Breaker look like they want to pretty much get him back to the point where he's supposed to be. So, man, we'll see how this thing rolls out, JL. But yeah, right now, man, he's not gonna be in this top 10. He's an honorable mention. Let's just put it that way. Man, don't get discouraged, because I'll tell you exactly why I don't have him in the top 10 for right now. All right, number 4, man, I have Damian Priest. Damian Priest as my number 4 wrestler from the WWE. Damian Priest, Mr. Money in the Bank winner. And I know he's tag team partners, man, with Finn Balor. They have the WWE Championship. That doesn't mean anything. They are making that thing irrelevant by having the titles. They need to give those titles back up or something, but those titles don't need to be on them. Damian Priest, man, have been very effective in the past 3 months, whether it's tag teams, but mostly singles wrestling. Anytime he's been in there as a singles wrestler, he has shown and proved that this guy is worthy of being called a top tier wrestler. Now, he is a top tier wrestler, hands down. He is incredible to watch. I love watching him. Damian Priest, man, those educated feet, the things that he can do with his legs. He uses his length. Not a lot of weaknesses in that ring. This guy is incredible, man. So big ups to Damian Priest, my number 4 wrestler, and the number 4 wrestler of Straight Up Wrestling Show for the last 90 days, last 3 months. All right, number 5, man. Number 5, I have Maxwell Jacob Freeman. MJF is my number 5 wrestler in the last 90 days. And look, I know the guy has hardly defended his title, barely wrestled or whatever, but I'm gonna go ahead and put him number 5 because he is the AEW World Champion, and I do see him as a world champion, even though he has disgraced that title, in my opinion. And lately he has been doing some work, man. He's been doing some work with Adam Cole, and he's been getting in the ring himself a little bit and everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and put him as the number 5 wrestler in the last 90 days. And to tell you the truth, if he was actually listening to this, he might have some beef with it or whatever, but that's just the way the ball bounces, MJF, because you have not been defending that title, and a world champion should be defending this title. The last 2 pay-per-views AEW had, you didn't even defend the title. He didn't defend the world title in the last 2 pay-per-views they had. He's been in tag team matches, and this one right here, he was in a handicap match. So definitely MJF is number 5, but yeah, that's the highest I can give him right now. Number 6, man, I have Jey Uso. In the last 90 days, Jey Uso has been through a lot, and Jey Uso has wrestled singles competition. He has done a lot of different things, and some tag team competition, but he's done a lot of different things. But Jey Uso is definitely number 6, in my opinion. He's the number 6 wrestler in the business today. Jey Uso is getting it done. All right, JL said Mr. No Knees is on here. JL, I swear if Coleslaw is on here. Man, no Coleslaw is on here, man. No way. He's not even in my honorable mention, okay? Number 7, man. Number 7, I hate to say this. Mr. Sunkiss, Mr. Tang, Mr. Doggone, Mr. Orange Juice Jones, whatever else you want to call him, Orange Kool-Aid. Man, Orange Kool-Aid, Orange Cassidy is number 7. And the reason I'm going to say that is because the man defended his title. You know, he had that international championship, the international AEW International Championship. He's on TV defending it week in and week out, week in and week out. And even though I don't think much of him as a wrestler, he does have some talent. I will give him that. Excuse me. But as far as him having that title, man, I really couldn't get with that. I'm glad John Moxley beat him, but then John Moxley got hurt and had to relinquish his title. But Orange Cassidy, man, number 7, he definitely did a lot of work. He has done a lot of work this year, but especially in the last 3 months. So I have him as the number 7 wrestler in the business today. All right, man, let me go over these last 3 that I got, man. I have at number 4. I have it's the last 4 that I got. Number 4, I have Ricky Starks. Number 5, I have number 3, I have Ricky Starks. No. I'm not going back all the way to Ricky Starks. Number 4, I had Damian Priest. Sorry about that, guys. Number 5, I had MJF. Number 6, Jey Uso, and number 7, Orange Cassidy. But yeah, Orange Cassidy definitely deserved to be in that number 7 spot. Orange Box is on here. JL says. All right, man. Number 8, I have Cody Rhodes. Number 8, Cody Rhodes, who has done a lot in the last 3 months. He has slowed down. You know, he has slowed down his activity, has slowed down and everything. But Cody Rhodes continued to do it, whether it's singles or tag teams. He continues to do it. He's one of the top guys in the business. And if you want to look at popularity, he definitely has a claim on the top. Being the most popular guy in the last 3 months, but that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about that. So definitely, I'm not going to give him any points for that, but I'm going to go ahead and give him the number 8 spot on my top 10 wrestlers right now for the last 3 months. You have Cody Rhodes at number 8. Number 9, man, I got to go with Chris Jericho. I'm going to go ahead and go with the veteran. You know, hey, the guy who comes out and sings his own song over and over again and leads it with the crowd. You know, I got to go with Chris Jericho at number 9. You know, the veteran, the guy gets in the ring. He doesn't look like he used to, but hey, he gets in there and he puts together great work. He puts together great work, and he's consistent. And he's keeping himself. He's not injury prone. He's keeping himself healthy and everything to be able to get in there and run with the young people. So I'm definitely gonna give Chris Jericho the number 9 spot because hey, he has shown us he's still relevant, he still can do it. So number 9 goes to my man Chris Jericho. And the number 10 spot, man, hey, last but not least, goes to Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns still, in my eyes, is the biggest attraction in wrestling today. But this right here is about activity. This is about who, this is about what components have made that engine flutter, which have made that engine run smooth this year within the last 90 days. And that has been Seth freaking Rollins at number 1, number 2, Gunther, number 3, Ricky Starks, number 4, Damian Priest, number 5 have been MJF, number 6, Jey Uso, number 7, Orange Cassidy, number 8, Cody Rhodes, and number 9, Chris Jericho. And those are the guys, man. Those are the guys who have put it together. Like I said, those are the guys that make sure that thing cranks every morning. Roman Reigns pretty much is one of these guys when it comes to wrestling, one of these guys that you just, once your car gets dirty, you go over to one of the local car washes and you wash your car because basically, like I said, he's a part-time worker. And, hey, still love him. And if this is a popularity contest, the most popular wrestlers, right now, he'll be like number 3 or 4. He'll still be up there in the top 5. But right now, he's number 10 as a wrestler, in the last 3 months, in my opinion. He gets number 10. The number 10 spot definitely goes to him. And JL says, maybe you can stretch it to Money in the Bank, but that was a tag match, and he defended it once. That's true. Roman has wrestled once in the last 90 days. Yeah, that don't make no kind of sense. JL, Dominic has been putting in work. And if you want to put, like I said, if this is a popularity contest, Dominic will be up there. He gets honorable mention either way it goes. JL, Romanism needs to show up. That's true. All right, guys, so let me go. So that's the top 10. Let me run through them one more time. Seth Rollins, number 2. All right, Seth Rollins, number 1. Number 2, we have Gunther. Number 3, we have Damian Priest. Number 4, we have Ricky Starks. Wait a minute. Wow, I'm messing up. Number 1, we have Seth Rollins. Number 2, Gunther. Number 3, Ricky Starks. Number 4, we have Damian Priest. Number 5, we have MJF. Number 6, Jey Uso. Number 7, Orange Cassidy. Number 8, Cody Rhodes. Number 9, Chris Jericho. And number 10, Roman Reigns. And that right there is the top 10, guys. Top 10. And, I'm going to put something up, a graphic or something like that. I'm going to go back and do a thumbnail and put a top 10 up so everybody can see it. But that's the top 10 for the Straight Up Wrestling Show for the last 90 days. Doesn't mean those who I think are the best wrestlers in the business. Because if I want to go with the best, if I go with the best wrestlers by skill, it's going to be a total different set here. And and speaking of your boy JL, if I went top 10, your boy is definitely in the top 5. If I go with a skill set and strength and intangibles and everything, he definitely is top 10. Definitely top 10, maybe top 5. But right now, this right here is the group. And as far as popularity go, man, I'm gonna go ahead and roll with LA Knight with that number 1. If we want to go ahead and rank those, LA Knight number 1 as far as relevancy and the most popular guy. And I'm not gonna add Rock and Cena because they just come around every now and then. They just now came around. They're not really active wrestlers or whatever. They are not the guys that's gonna be showing up every day. They're not, they're not Uber. They're not gonna be there. Like Uber, these other guys are Uber drivers, man. They are showing up for work every single week. All right, man, number 2, I'm going to go ahead and go with Dom. So you talk about Dominic Mysterio been putting in work. Yes, he has been putting in work, but I'm going to go ahead and say it like this. He's still a C+ wrestler, man. That's what he is. And anytime he's wrestled against the bigger competition like Cody and people like that, he has been taken down. But man, that doesn't take away his, who he is and what he's going to end up being in his business, because he's going to be huge, man. He's already huge, but he's going to be something to deal with, man, within 2 to 3 years, straight up. Number 3, man, as far as relevancy and popularity, basically getting them over in wrestling in the last 3 months, who people just flat out go crazy for. I'm gonna go ahead and roll with Seth Rollins, guys. And I'm just gonna go ahead and put Seth Rollins here, and that's because he just has it, man. The whole crowd sings a song. People go crazy. He does a lot of great things. Let me see. Number 4, man, as far as popularity and, popularity here and just people going crazy for him, I'm going to go ahead and go Ricky Starks. And I'm talking about this is the last 90 days. So I'm going to go Ricky Starks here. And number 5, I'm going to go ahead and go Roman Reigns. I didn't plan on rating this, but I'm going to do top 5 here. Roman Reigns, I'll put him at number 5. And number 6, I'm going to go ahead and put MJF. So let's go ahead and do that. Number 6, I'll put MJF, and this is popularity, man. I didn't plan on putting that on there, but this is just a bonus here, and that's just coming off the top of the head, guys. Who I think is the most popular wrestlers in the world today, as far as in these 2 companies. I'm talking about the big 2, WWE and AEW. This is the top 6: LA Knight, Dom Mysterio, Seth Rollins, Ricky Starks, Roman Reigns, MJF, and then who can I go with out the MJF guys? I can pretty much surprise. I'm gonna go with Chris Jericho, number 7. I'm gonna go with Chris Jericho, number 7 spot for the top 10 most popular wrestlers. Number 8, man. Number 8. Who else? Oh, Jey Uso, guys. Jey Uso. He probably should have been 7, but I'm gonna go ahead and go Jey Uso, number 8. Wow. This right here is, man, I definitely would go Rhea Ripley, but Rhea Ripley, I haven't ranked no females. I'm going to do that on a separate thing. But number 9, man, let me go ahead and roll with The Miz. And number 10, I'm going to go ahead and roll with Chad Gable, guys. These are the people that's very popular in the business. These are the people that, man, that just drive people, drive the fans crazy. And these are the people that make these wrestlers, these most popular wrestlers. Like I say, this is a bonus. I didn't plan on doing this. This top 10 most popular right here is the wrestlers that fans want to see win. Fans want to see succeed. Now, I did put Dominic Mysterio at number 2, but Dominic Mysterio, man, fans just can't stand him. They don't even want him to talk, but I think the fans love seeing him. That's the thing about it. He's got great heat, but the fans love to see him, and they would love to see what he does. And, case in point, look at what he's done for NXT since he's been over there. All right, Ashton Springer's in the house. What's up? Certified Wrestling Podcast is in the house, man. All right, cool. All right, Certified Wrestling Podcast says KO. So he says KO. So Kevin Owens. So you're saying Kevin Owens should he be in that top 10 or should he be in the top 10 most popular? You know, right now I don't think he should be in the top 10. Kevin Owens has been in the reason I'm gonna say that is because he's basically been mainly teaming up with Sami Zayn. Him and Sami Zayn both could deserve to be in my top 10, but they have been in a tag team. So that's the reason Kevin Owens is not in this top 10. Certified Wrestling Podcast. And talking to my man JL, the reason your boy Braun Breaker is not in it because he really haven't been active and he has been on a losing streak pretty much since he lost that title. Now, somebody else that should be in this top 10, Carmelo Hayes should be in the top 10. You know, I'm gonna go back over my top 10 guys as some of you guys come in and everything. Carmelo Hayes should have been in the top 10. He's definitely not in the top 10. So Carmelo Hayes, you know, if I was going to do top 15, he'd be like number 11, or he should be up there higher. And that's to be honest with you. All right, and what was the other one? Goodness sake, there's another one over there in NXT. Let's see. He just had the North American Championship. He doesn't have it right now. Let's see. What is his name? But, man, he put in a lot of work. All right. Ashton says, hey, Certified Wrestling Podcast said Shinsuke. Yes, Shinsuke probably will at the end of the year. He's going to be in the top 10. I'm going to do 1 or 2 more months. He should be in the top 10. But Shinsuke Nakamura was losing. Remember, he was losing before he got into this feud with Roman. He was losing. I mean, he was losing a lot, too. So I definitely cannot, even though I believe he's going to be in the hottest feud, well, probably the hottest feud in the business with Seth. They just kicking this thing off. Man, Shinsuke definitely deserves his props. But right now, I cannot put him in the top 10 for the last 3 months because Shinsuke lost a lot of matches. All right, Ashton Springer says, love the Miz. Yeah, I love what he's doing, man. So he's definitely in my top 10. Certified Wrestling Podcast, Juice Robinson. Juice Robinson definitely deserves a mention. Definitely one of the most popular wrestlers, man. And one of the, could be in that top 10. Definitely Juice Robinson. But Juice Robinson, too, another one who's been in a lot of tag team matches, guys. A lot of tag team matches of Certified Wrestling Podcast. But appreciate you joining Certified Wrestling Podcast. And if you're still there, man, I hope that you join the Straight Up Wrestling family. Hey, I'll look over. Hey, you go ahead and give us a like, man. You go ahead and subscribe with us. We'll go ahead and subscribe to you. And hey, maybe if you're doing something Certified Wrestling Podcast, or that's just your name, we definitely like to have a listen or whatever. Maybe we can do some things a little bit down the road. But definitely, like I say, hey, everybody, man, that's listening, you see that, go and give a Certified Wrestling Podcast a look, guys, straight up. But yeah, all right, man. But Seth Rollins, I'm gonna go back over my top 10 again as people come in. So let me go over my top 10 again. The top 10 wrestlers, and like I said, guys, look, man. I did put up a video. Like I said, I put up a video of my top 10 wrestlers, of the top 10 wrestlers of the Straight Up Wrestling show, but I ended up deleting that video by mistake. I went in there to edit the thumbnail. I ended up deleting it, and I don't want to put it back up there so the algorithm can say, oh, he's reusing videos, and I can get in trouble. We can get in trouble again. So I definitely don't want to do that. All right, man. So the number one wrestler in the world today, man, I'm talking about the last 90 days. Once again, number one, Seth freaking Rollins, in my opinion, is Seth freaking Rollins. And I know Chris is not on, but this is official, man. Straight Up Wrestling show. I'm sure Chris would agree with me, but Seth freaking Rollins have put in the most work in the last 3 months out of all the champions, besides maybe Gunther. Okay, but I'm gonna go and give Seth Rollins the nod because Seth Rollins has the world belt. Number 2, man, I'm gonna run with Gunther, Walter, whatever you want to call him, Gunther, Walter, whatever you want to call him. This guy deserves the number 2 spot. He's definitely, man, he makes you want to watch wrestling. He makes wrestling make sense. And I know some people out here getting out here and say, oh, he's boring and everything like that. But I guarantee you, if he went to AEW, man, he's the greatest thing of all time. I guarantee it. All right, man. Number 3 is I have Ricky Starks out of AEW, man. Speaking of AEW, Ricky Starks, absolute, call himself complete, or he could call himself complete or whatever. Absolute Ricky Starks has the entire package, man. I love what he brings to the table. So my number 3 wrestler in the last 90 days have been Ricky Starks. This guy have been putting in some major work. Number 4, man, is Mr. Money in the Bank. I'm going to go ahead and roll with Damian Priest, man. This guy has been outstanding. So I'm definitely going to put him at number 4. Number 5, man, is the AEW World Champion MJF, man. Maxwell Jacob Freeman haven't really defended the belt a lot, have wrestled and things. But this guy, man, he's been in a lot of tag teams and doing things like that. But MJF is still the number 5 wrestler in the world right now, even though he's really number 2 wrestler in the world today after the world champion, man. That's Roman Reigns. But he's number 5 in our countdown in Straight Up Wrestling Show's top 10. Number 6, man, I'm gonna go ahead and roll with Jey Uso. Jey Uso is the number 6 wrestler in the world today. No ands or buts about it. Let's roll with Jey Uso. Number 7, man, I'm gonna have to go ahead and give it to Orange Cassidy, man. Orange Juice Jones, Tang, 7-Up. I mean, not 7-Up. Sun Kiss, Orange Crush, whatever you want to call him. But Orange Cassidy, number 7, man. Number 8, man. My number 8 top 10 wrestler in the last 90 days is Cody Rhodes. All right, number 9 is Chris Jericho. Man, Chris Jericho still getting it done. Chris Jericho, hey, look like he's his own man right now and took the bullet, bit the bullet right there for Kenny Omega last night. All right, man, number 10 is Roman Reigns, guys. Roman Reigns is the number 10 wrestler on my list. All right, I did a bonus. Didn't plan on doing a bonus, but I gave a bonus. The top 10 most popular wrestlers last 90 days. I just come off the top of my head, but these are the guys I see as the most popular wrestlers in the world today in the last 90 days. And remember, guys, I'm not including females because there's some females that will be on this list. But right now, I just have males. And right now, the number 1 most popular wrestler in the world today, as far as getting out there, driving the fans crazy right now, is LA Knight. So I'm definitely going to give it to LA Knight, even though I don't really care for LA Knight. I'm not a big fan of LA Knight. And anybody that watch Straight Up Wrestling Show, watch Chris and I, they know that that it drives me crazy about this LA Knight thing. But LA Knight is very popular, and hey, he means a lot to wrestling right now. So he is number 1. Number 2, man, is I'm gonna give it to him because, hey, as a heel, this guy's getting all kind of heat and everything. This guy has a lot of people watching, a lot of people are following him, and people want to see what he does. Whether they want to see his butt get beat or they want to see him win, is Dominic Mysterio. So that means a lot right there. Number 3, man, I'm gonna go ahead and roll with Seth freaking Rollins. Number 3, even though he's the number 1 wrestler. Number 3, most popular wrestler today, have the whole crowd singing his song. Seth Rollins. Number 4, man, I'm gonna go with absolute Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks, hey, a lot of people are hating on him, but there's so many fans that seeing what he is and seeing what his talent is. And, even though he's done turn heel, he hasn't lost anything, man. Haven't lost any fans. Number 5, man, is Roman Reigns. Anytime he comes out, hey, people gonna salute. People gonna doggone people gonna acknowledge him. Either way it go, he's the number 5 most popular wrestler in the world in the last 90 days. All right, man. Number 6, I have MJF, still cutting fantastic promos. And his popularity is even soaring even more now that he has Adam Cole. All right, number 7, man, I'm gonna go ahead and roll with Jericho. Chris Jericho is the most popular wrestler in the world today. He's number 7. Number 8, man, is Jey Uso. Hey, at times Jey Uso could have garnered that number 1 spot. Number 9, man, I'm rolling with The Miz. And hey, The Miz is playing off of what LA Knight is doing for him. LA Knight is the most popular wrestler still here right now. Like I said, in my top 10, this is a bonus, guys. LA Knight is the number 1 wrestler, most popular wrestler in the world today. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue on with that. And The Miz is playing. The Miz is his popularity is rising even more. Even though The Miz always been popular for years. The Miz, he is pretty much capitalizing. He's benefiting off of what's going on with LA Knight. Number 10, man, I'm gonna go ahead and go with Chad Gable. And Chad Gable, very popular. People know he can wrestle. He's a smaller guy, but he has that Kurt Angle type thing, that Dean Malenko type thing. This guy is incredible, the things that he does. So I definitely gonna go ahead and stick with Chad Gable as the number 10 wrestler in the world today. JL says, we talking about the sleep-inducing Bronson. Bronson isn't on here. No, he's not, man. Bronson isn't on here. But Bronson is an honorable mention. JL. look, this is what I'm going to go ahead and say before I get off here about Bron Breakker. Man, Bron Breakker is in a very important match Tuesday night. Bron Breakker will be taking on Carmelo Hayes. And Carmelo Hayes is going to have John Cena in his corner. Bron Breakker is going to have Paul Heyman in his corner. This is the most high profile, one of the most high profile matches of the year. Bron Breakker, I don't think Bron Breakker has been in a more high profile match. Carmelo hasn't either. And that's because of the presence of these two legends, John Cena, Paul Heyman. It's going to be over 1 million people. I guarantee you. I say NXT probably get anywhere from 1.2 to 1.4 million. I'm gonna go ahead and go off on a limb, 1.275 or 1.3 million that they're gonna get. AEW, they're gonna drop down to the 700, maybe 600,000. They cannot compete with that. They cannot compete with that. I don't care what kind of roster they put together, or whatever. They cannot compete with what's gonna happen here. But Carmelo Hayes and Bron Breakker is in a great situation. Bron Breakker haven't been in this situation in a long time, man. Got to take advantage of it. Hopefully he comes out on top. But either way it go, he has Paul Heyman in his corner, and so he might be rubbing shoulders with Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns. And all he has to do is get a real good friendship with Paul Heyman. That's going to take him far in his business. But JL, your man Bron Breakker right now, Bron Breakker, I say, is probably the number 4 wrestler in the world. And I'm talking about skills, JL. I'm talking about skills, all his intangibles, where he can go and where he can end up. He continues to go and do what he's doing. I say in 2 years, 2.5 years, he'll be the number 1 wrestler in the world. Nobody will be able to touch him. But man, I'm just gonna go ahead and say that I'm just gonna go ahead and leave it at that. This guy's incredible. And man, it's a travesty what they done to him. I hate it. But it happened, man. It happened. And I know he's being punished. He's being punished for no reason. It's a crime, man. It's a crime, and it's a crying shame. All right. JL said Bron with humble Mello. Hopefully so. I was talking about, Bronson Reed. JL, for some reason, man, that came up in my head, but I said, no, he can't be talking about him. Bronson Reed, man. Wow. Talk about irrelevant. You talk about irrelevant with a machine behind him, and the irrelevance is unbelievable. There's only a couple other wrestlers like him with a machine behind him and irrelevant. That's Bronson Reed, Sammy Guevara, and who else, man? Who else? I say those are the top 2. Those are the top 2. Sammy Guevara, man, he's doing everything they can to get him back to where he was, or try to get him in good graces with the fans, but it's not happening. The fans do not want to have nothing to do with him, JL. It's crazy. All right. JL says Reed is getting a push, but no one cares. Exactly. Nobody cares, man. And Triple H is shoving this guy down our throats, man. He is. He's shoving this guy down our throats. We don't want it. We do not want that. Well, I'm not going to say the word, but that S sandwich. You know what I'm talking about, JO. We don't want that S sandwich. And that's what he's giving us, man. That's what he's giving us. JL, Austin Theory was a failed push. Yeah, he was, man. But you know what? Austin Theory probably deserved to be in the top 10. I'm going to go ahead and give him an honorable mention. But he was a failed push, man. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how great he is. I mean, very skilled. Excellent technician. Great wrestler. But the fans don't care nothing about him, man. They really don't. And maybe that's a shame, too. Straight up. All right, JL, they piped in booze and nobody cares when he was champ and when he lost it. That's true. JL. Nobody gave a darn, man. This guy he didn't get over. And he doesn't have the worst personality in the world, man. He just didn't get over. Nobody cares. And sometimes that happens. And you have to really figure out a way how to get this guy out of that. And sometimes what you have to do, what they used to do back in the day, and I loved it, wrestling back in the day, they used to just keep these guys wrestling. They didn't put titles on them or anything. Guys like them, they would just have them in there wrestling. They would have them winning. And basically all it was, you saw these guys come out, they wrestled a match, and it was maybe 5, 6, 7 minutes, you know, and they eliminate their opponent, they win the match, and they walk off. Then after a while, the fans pretty much start engaging these guys. It's weird the way it happened, JL, but that used to happen all the time. The fans after a while started engaging them because it seemed like these guys didn't care, and then you start seeing the skill set that these guys had. Like, oh gosh, he's an incredible wrestler. But man, they cannot stand Austin Theory so much. I think that they can't see his talent. The fans can't see his talent. They can't see the skill that he actually possessed because they are, people are blinded by the hate that they have for the guy. So, hey, we just don't care for him, and we're not going to cheer for him. Flat out. It's crazy. All right, Pedro Perez, Dolph Ziggler never got him a big push. Exactly. Dolph did end up, he had the world championship twice, but Dolph Ziggler, man, got a bad deal. Very bad deal. Great wrestler. And, man, if he goes to AEW, I hope they push him right, Pedro. Hope they do him right if he goes over there, because he's one of the best in the world. One of the best in the world. That guy's an outstanding wrestler and still has a lot left, a whole lot left. JL says it's bad when no one cares or gives a reaction. A booed face is better than no reaction. That's true. All right, JL says like it's a eye roll. No one bats an eye. It's a bathroom break match. That's true. JL, Booker got his push killed by Triple H. Yep. Yeah. Pedro says I hope too. No doubt, Pedro. No doubt. All right. JL says notice the pattern. Yeah, JL. Yeah. But man, I just don't know. I just don't know. A lot of people that should be way up in the business just don't get it. They just don't. They they pull a rug off on them, even if they are world championship material. If these guys talk too much, man, somebody like Triple H or Nick Khan, Vince McMahon himself or whatever, say we don't like him and we're not going to push him. We're not going to use him like that. Finn Balor, man. Finn Balor probably should have been in his top 10, but Finn Balor ended up being in tag teams and doing a lot of things. But Finn Balor definitely an honorable mention because he wasn't in tag teams at the beginning of this 3 months ago. But Finn Balor is an outstanding wrestler. Outstanding. Incredible. But guys, man, yeah, Ilya Dragunov. Hey, big ups to Ilya Dragunov, but I can't give it to him on the last 3 months. The last 5 to 6 weeks, the last 2 months, he's been doing very good, but he probably should be in the top 10 too. Honorable mention goes to my man, the menacing, the outstanding, the destroyer, Ilya Dragunov. Straight up. All right. Pedro Perez says, what happened to glorious Bobby Roode? You talking about Bobby Roode? Let's see, Bobby. I know who you're talking about. Yeah. No, I don't know what happened to him. Oh, I do know what happened to him, man. Oh, actuality. Man, he ended up having a bad shoulder, back, his arm, his shoulders really messed up, and he's only like at 20%. He was only now this was about 5 or 6 months ago. He was only at like 20%. JL says Baby Ruth. He talking about Bobby Roode. That's who he's talking about. But yeah, I don't know if he's ever gonna be able to come back to wrestle Pedro. And his former partner, James Storm. Chris and I talked to James Storm. We was at a show with James Storm, and we sat down, we kicked it with James Storm for about 15, 20 minutes. And Battles on Wrestling. And you see some of our intros and everything, you'll see Chris is hugging James Storm. I could probably put a picture up later. But yeah, we're talking to James Storm, and James Storm told us everything what was going on with his partner, Bobby Roode. So Bobby's out, man. He's out. I don't know I don't know if he's ever going to come back, or he might just come back and do commentary in wrestling. I don't know if he's ever going to be in shape to do ring work again. But I hope he is, Pedro, because he's definitely an asset to the business. Definitely an asset to wrestling. All right, JL, like it's a selfish business, but damn, how do you sleep at night when you call someone to get fired and have no way to put food on the table? That's true. All right. JL, Bobby seems like his injury is healing, but he's in mid to late 40s, so it's safe to call it a career. He will once was one of the best wrestlers from Canada. Yeah, thanks, JL. But yeah, I appreciate it. But yeah, great wrestler, man. JL Cena for sure fits into what comment I made earlier. Yes, he does. He does. You know, John Cena, it could be seen as a selfish move when it boils down to it. Him and The Rock coming down here because they ain't got nothing else better to do. You know, could be taking opportunities from somebody else because they don't have no work in Hollywood right now. There's a strike. There's a strike in Hollywood, and who knows who knows when the strike is going to end? Straight up. All right, Pedro Perez says Bobby also never gave him a push. True. That's crazy. That's crazy. But guys, man, anything else you guys want to really go over? Oh yeah, let's go ahead and let's talk about this AEW, man, WWE thing. Like I say, I really don't have the cards in front of me right now. But man, AEW have put together an incredible, I think it's a very, very good card for Wednesday night. I'm going to go ahead and give them the props for that, man. That card is incredible. What they have coming up to pretty much try to combat what's going to happen, what WWE is throwing at them. Let's see. Let me go back and get to say I brought up WWE, but let me see if I can bring up the AEW Tuesday night, man. Bring up that card and let's talk about this thing. Let's talk about it. Let me just bring up AEW, man. That'll come up. Goodness sake, I got some crazy stuff coming up. Okay. All right, guys. Hopefully the card comes up and we're going to talk about this a little bit. Okay, the AEW ratings came out. The ratings should be pretty good. We had Edge. Edge was on that Wednesday night, so the ratings should be pretty good. Let me see if I can get them, guys. Talk about these ratings. And hey, Tuesday night, NXT ratings was like what, 850, 854? Pretty good, very good ratings. 854,000 people, man. Those guys are rocking. They are rocking. So those are very good ratings. These ratings, the Dynamite ratings should be very good with Edge coming in. So let's see how this stuff went down. What? Wow, guys. Wow. 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 Look, WrestleNomics is reporting that AEW Dynamite did 800,000 viewers, guys. 800,000 viewers. NXT beat Dynamite this week. And Dynamite had Edge on there. Dynamite had Edge on this week. What happened? What happened, guys? I know they wasn't going up against no football game Wednesday night. It might have been a college game playing somewhere, but it wasn't on TV. But they wasn't going up against anything. Maybe the Major League Baseball playoffs or something. I don't know what's going on. But I know baseball really haven't been rocking like that. But yeah, 800,000 viewers. Wow. With Edge in tow. If that is the case, let me look at this again, man. If that's the case, they are in trouble, guys. They are in trouble come Tuesday night. If that's the case. If that's the case, then I'm looking at them to drop down to 600,000 because people don't care. He's going to have to come up with something else. I hope that's wrong, man. I hope. All right. Now I'm going to read a little bit of this, guys. It says, ahead of next week's head-to-head showdown, AEW Dynamite was unable to overcome WWE NXT in this week's ratings, with Wednesday night's episode drawing the lowest overall audience for the program since May. WrestleNomics is reporting that Dynamite was viewed by an overall audience of 800,000 viewers. 800,000 viewers. Wow. A 6% drop from last week and putting Dynamite behind NXT's 857,000 overall. That's not good. That's not good. Viewers on Tuesday. Dynamite was able to bring in a higher key demographic audience than NXT. However, with 364,000 viewers in the coveted and the coveted 18 to 49 demographic tuning in, the highest rated segment of the night in both overall audiences and the key demographic was the conversation between Adam Copeland and AEW TNT champion Christian Cage, which technically took place during the overrun. Yeah, during the overrun, man. And that's one thing too. They overran, they did that overrun, and they've been getting credit for the overruns, AEW. But I guess that did not help them, looks like. Okay, Tony Khan requested due to audio issues on TBS. Yeah, okay. So Tony Khan was trying to get that, because he said he had audio issues on, with TBS. So he requested a little bit of more time. So, man, I guess if they reported that's legit, let's go ahead and say it's legit. And let me see if I can get back to that, what I was reading. This is crazy. All right, I'm trying to get back into what I was reading, guys. Man, this doggone tablet. Sorry, I don't know what, man. Gosh, I'm sorry, guys. I am so sorry, man. Let's see if I can get back to that page. But 800,000 viewers, guys, that's not good. That's not good at all. And NXT had 857,000. That is crazy. That is crazy. All right, Tony Khan, I need you to call me up, Tony Khan. I need you to call me up, man. Things got to change. Something's got to change here. All right, look, I can't get back to that guy, so I'm not gonna try to get back to that. I can't get back to that. Sorry about that. This dog, I should have brought my laptop out here, but I might have to go get it. I didn't plan on being on too much longer. But 800,000 viewers, guys. 800,000 viewers. That's not good. That's not good. And he made a dynamic card. That card, I love the card. I don't have it in front of me, and I can't recite it, so I'm definitely not gonna try to come up with the matches that they have. Anybody want to put them in, if you want to look them up, you want to put them in the comments or whatever, I definitely read them off. But, man, when you did not beat them last week, you had Edge. You had Edge in tow. Edge was there. And you cannot beat them when all they had was Dominic Mysterio over there. And they had Rhea Ripley, Damian Priest and Finn Balor. That's who they brought. And next week, they are bringing John Cena, Paul Heyman, Cody Rhodes, and who else? It's one other person, too. Paul Heyman, Cody Rhodes, John Cena, Paul Heyman, Cody Rhodes, and one other person that they already announced. But the big names that they're bringing next week, huge names. And you couldn't beat them this past week, AEW is in some real trouble. Real trouble, man. Straight up. Hate to say it, guys. I really do. JL says, let's talk about Scooter McGee starting up at a 420 shop. I just don't. God. I'm not interested in that, JL. I know Scooter's your man and all that, but I'm not interested in that. All right, JL says Lash can learn a lot from Paul Heyman. Cena, she should get some advice from them next week. She should. All right, Pedro Perez says, what happened to Motor City Machine Guns? I have no clue, Pedro. I haven't really been watching Impact like that. Last I seen, they was in Impact, still competing, still active, very competitive, doing very well. JL told you Braun brought in the ratings. Hey, it's not just him, but hey, Braun is definitely one of these guys that can bring in some ratings too. JL, let's hope it was just a bad week, but damn, they got humble real quick. Yes, they did. All right, JL, what Scooter is not in boy, something like that. I don't know what you're talking about there, right there, JL. But yeah, that's not good, man. 800,000 viewers. I thought with Edge there, I thought they would do 920, 930, maybe 940, 950. Wow. This is not good. And see, you also got to remember this, still in tow. If AEW really wants to, WWE really wants to crush them, they can bring Jade Cargill there. They can bring Roman there, and hey, Paul Heyman's going to be on the show, and Roman talked to him about advising Braun Breaker. Why wouldn't Roman show up? Roman can show up next week. And always got to remember, they got Brock Lesnar, and on top of that, they got The Rock. Man, if he wanted to kill that organization, man, he could. Nobody will be watching AEW. But, I don't know, man. I don't know. There are a lot of people looking at it as petty, what WWE is doing. But Tony Khan has decided to go up against NXT. And, if they wouldn't have done that, and he goes up against NXT live, they beat NXT, we know what Tony Khan is going to do. Tony Khan will be bragging. He will be bragging about that he's beaten NXT. Okay, I beat AEW. AEW, we beat them head to head. He definitely will brag. He will use that. So they pulled out the big guns, man. They're like, okay, we're not going to let you do that. And we're going to step on you. We're going to crush you. We're going to step on your neck. And they definitely doing that. All right, JL says Triple H will brag. Well, yeah, that too. JL, it's a win with some tanks to it, though. How long can they keep this up, though? They don't have to. JL, they don't have to. When I looked at that rate, 857 to 800,000, when it boils down to it, NXT right now don't have a lot of people in there from the main roster. They really don't. They got Becky Lynch and they got Dom Mysterio. And, Rhea comes on there. That's all they got in the Judgment Day. They usually they basically using their own wrestlers. So they're gonna bring main roster people in there, man. Just get used to it. They definitely gonna do that. But wow, for them to drop down to 800,000, man, the only thing that's telling me is AEW fans are getting tired of AEW. To a certain point, they did not show up in force. They did not show up in force to make sure that they get 1 million viewers, man. This right here, they should have done everything they could to make sure they got 1 million viewers this past Wednesday. It didn't happen. And I don't understand why it didn't happen. That don't make no kind of sense to me. That makes no kind of sense that didn't happen. But yeah, they should have got 1 million viewers, man. Wow. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out here talking about this right now. I'm pretty sure it's podcasts out here of people talking about that. But yeah, they should have got 1 million viewers, man. It makes no sense that they didn't. I do not understand that. I don't understand that at all. But guys, let me see if I can bring this up again. Goodness, wow, come on now. Went to their page. I don't want it on their page because they definitely not going to report it. Goodness sake, this is not good, JL. And Pedro and anybody else coming through. Appreciate you guys coming through, man. And if you're coming through seeing the Straight Up Wrestling Show for the first time, definitely hit that like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, ding, 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 so you know when we're on like times like these. And definitely do the same thing you see us over on Twitch. If you're on Facebook, hit that like, share, join, guys. And if you on X, formerly known as Twitter, hit that like, share, tweet, and retweet, and follow the Straight Up Wrestling Show on Twitter, guys. But yeah, let me try to see if I can get to this AEW, some of these AEW Dynamite ratings, guys. Goodness, that just don't look good. Oh gosh, man, I ain't even gonna try it no more, man. I'm frustrated. I'm really am. All right, let me go ahead and get to these comments. All right, JL says, how can NXT keep this up? They cannot keep up bringing Cena and stuff there. No, they can't. They didn't bring Cena to get that 857 this past week. Cena wasn't there. Paul Heyman wasn't there either, JL. They're not going to have to continue to do that. Man, once you build up something, you're not going to have to continue to do that. You're just going to have to hold your audience. You just do. You know, you bring in new audience members by bringing those guys back to watch the product, and hopefully you're able to keep them with the product that you have. You know, even if you bring the stars there. So straight up, I mean, they're not going to be able to keep them guys coming back and forth over to NXT. No doubt about that. JL, AEW needs an identity. They are TV 14, and we need some soap operas TV with drama. No doubt about that. Not blood in every irrelevant match. I'm with you on that, JL, straight up. JL says AEW doesn't have any schedule or anything to look forward to. NXT has many eventual things. Next week, AEW only has Edge matches. Yep. Well, they got a pretty good lineup, man. But to tell you the truth, who cares about that lineup? I mean, a lot of their fans, I like it. I like it. I like the card. But does that card go past AEW's fan base? Really does. That's what you got to look at. You got to look at to see if that card is relevant outside of that fan base. And I say it's not. It's not. It's a great card for their fan base. Your card has got to resonate, man. It's got to resonate with the casual fan. It has to resonate with the WWE crowd. It has to resonate with the general public. So that's what you're trying to reach. Anybody with a wrestling company, if you have a wrestling company and your wrestling company is say if you start a wrestling company, I'm going to use two for an example here. APW and His Pro Wrestling. His Pro Wrestling and APW is probably about 15 minutes away from each other. APW been around for 40 years. His Pro Wrestling started a couple years back. But my whole thing is this. If you are a company that's been around for 40 years, or you're a company that's been around for a couple years, and you are just looking at this other company of the road, and you want to play follow the leader, or you want to, or your goal is to do something to beat them, let's say Tony Khan is reactionary. Your goal is to be reactionary to everything they do, and you trying to compete with them. They've been in business for 40 years. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your time. You have to concentrate on what you're doing. Don't worry about what they're doing. You concentrate on your business and what you can do to succeed in your business. Because when you're sitting there and you continue to look at them and trying to do things pretty much to top them, and you signing wrestlers, a lot of wrestlers they had or whatever, and you're bringing them into your company, it takes away the uniqueness of your company. You're not building stars, your own stars from within. And that's a problem in the wrestling business, guys. And Tony Khan has that right now. He definitely has that. But, man, I tell you what, it's been a great night. It's been fun. But, guys, I got to get out of here. I got other things I got to do. I get some sleep. I want to go back here. I want to mess around with my music equipment and everything. But, guys, once again, 800,000 fans, man. 800,000 people showed up Wednesday night for AEW Dynamite. Tuesday night, 857,000 people showed up for NXT. They really didn't have much besides Dom going over there to take on Trick Williams. This is not good. Not good at all. JL Harrington, I got to hit the hey. Good night. Good night, JL. Appreciate you joining, man. But, yeah, let me go over this top 10 one more time, man. I'm going over the top 10 wrestlers in the last 90 days, and I'm going to the top 10 most popular wrestlers before I get out of here. All right, man, my top 10 wrestlers, the Straight Up Wrestling Show. Top 10 wrestlers and like 10 wrestlers in the last 3 months. Number 1, man, I'm rolling with Seth Rollins. Number 2 is Gunther. Number 3 is Ricky Starks. Number 4, man, I have Damian Priest. Number 5, I have MJF. Number 6, I have Jey Uso. Number 7, I got Orange Cassidy. Number 8, I have Cody Rhodes. Number 9, I have Chris Jericho. And number 10, I have Roman Reigns. And like I said, honorable mention goes out to Ilya Dragunov. Let's see. Who else? Cody Rhodes. Let's see. Carmelo Hayes. Braun Breaker. Let's see. All right, man. All right, top 10 wrestlers. Okay, these are the top 10 wrestlers. Top 10 most popular wrestlers in the last 90 days. In Straight Up Wrestling Show eyes, top 10 most popular wrestlers in the last 90 days. We have number 1, man. Number 1, LA Knight. Number 2, I have number 2, Dominic Mysterio, and I'm just going to give him popular because, hey, he's a heel, but he's popular, very popular among the fans. Number 3, I'm going to go ahead and give it to Seth Rollins, man. Hey, got the fans swooning. Everybody singing this song. Everybody swooning to a song. Number 4, man, we got Ricky Starks. Number 5, man, we have Roman Reigns. Number 5, man, this guy, people still acknowledging, bro. Number 6, we got MJF. Number 7, we got Chris Jericho. Number 8, man, we got Jey Uso. Number 9, we have The Miz. And number 10 is Chad Gable. And Chad Gable is doing it off his wrestling ability alone, man. Straight up. I know they have him in a lot of tag teams and everything like that. Otis is pretty popular, but not as popular as Chad Gable. Chad Gable is the man. So, guys, hey, that's my show for tonight. Appreciate everybody coming in, guys. Stay straight up. And before you leave, like I said, whatever platform you're on, definitely hit that like. Just join the Straight Up Wrestling Show. Subscribe to the Straight Up Wrestling Show. I'll see you guys later, man. Have a good night. Stay straight up. Peace.